In this lesson, we'll dive into the box model, which is a key concept in CSS. Understanding how the box model works will allow you to design and manipulate web elements with precision. Let's break it down step by step. What is the box model? The CSS box model consists of several layers surrounding an element. Content, the actual content of the box, such as text or an image. Padding, the space between the content and the border. It is used to create space inside the element. Border surrounds the padding, if any, and content. It can have different styles, such as solid, dotted, or dashed. Margin, the space outside the border. It separates the element from other elements around it. Let's look at some CSS properties to understand how they interact with the box model. Margin. The margin property is used to create space around elements, outside of the border. For example, to set a margin of 20px for a div element. This adds space around the entire div. Padding. The padding property is used to create space inside an element, between the content and the border. To set padding for a section element. This gives the content inside the section some breathing room. Border. The border property allows you to define the border around an element. For example, to set a 2px solid black border for a div, you can adjust the thickness, style, and color of the border. Width and height. The width and height properties are used to define the size of an element. For example, to set the width of a div to 300 px. Similarly, you can define the height of an element. Box sizing. CSS also has the box sizing property, which defines how the total width and height of an element are calculated. The default value is content box, but you can use border box to include the padding and border within the element's total width and height. This makes sure that padding and border are included in the total width and height of the element, making it easier to manage layouts. By understanding and applying the box model properties, you'll have better control over the layout and spacing of elements on your website. You can experiment with different values to see how the padding, border, and margin affect the overall layout. Happy styling!